Hello and welcome back to this week's The Weekly Edit. I'm Narelle. I'm a lifestyle editor and professional organiser. And every week we start with something ordinary. A wardrobe, a meal, a kitchen drawer, a suitcase. And together we explore what it's really teaching us about the way we live. Now, why the ordinary? Because I believe that when we edit what no longer serves us, we create room for what really matters. So whether you're walking the dog, making a cuppa, or folding the washing, I am so pleased you're here with me. Now let's get into this week's edit. So I want to ask you a question. If I gave 10 people exactly the same packing list, exactly the same location, would you pack the same suitcase? I don't think you all would. And the more I think about it, the more I realize this isn't really about packing at all. It's about understanding ourselves. Now I have a little story to tell you. A friend of mine this week went off traveling for 10 days. She took the most minuscule rucksack. I think she loves the challenge. Not because she has to, but she genuinely seems to enjoy how little she can take. Meanwhile, myself, it says I have a cabin bag. I'm probably going to use every single inch of it and more if I can get away with it. But it did get me thinking. We all organise ourselves completely differently, not just when we travel, but in life, day to day. We are all so unique and we organise differently. I think this is an interesting one. I think we all have our own travel personality. Travel personality number one, the challenger. This person treats packing like a game. How little can I take? Can I skip baggage reclaim? Can I beat what I did last time? If that's you, you'll probably be smiling already. Another girlfriend then commented, have you done the Uniqlo bag challenge? Expecting this girl to have said yes. I then went into Uniqlo and I found said bag that is for the challenge. It's a 2-litre little moon-shaped bag. Here it is. I tried to put a few things in it. A pair of leggings that were sitting there, or trousers, and a zippy kind of jacket. Shoved my chargers in and I was like, I don't think there's much left for anything else. If you've done it, have you managed? I guess you could go wearing lots of clothes and layer things on. I'd wear a jacket and probably fill every single pocket. Or I really need to consider how I pack, but that kind of minimal, that's not the way that I travel. But it might be the way you travel. Let me know. Then we have the curator, much more me. I like options, not endless options, just enough, whatever that is. Different shoes, love shoes. Favorite clothes, a few accessories, and a few more. I don't suddenly become a different person when I'm on holiday to when I'm at home. I just want to take my favorite version of everyday me. Curator or optimizer? Maybe optimizer here. My carry-on luggage, right, is huge. I get eyed up and down every time I am anywhere near a check-in. It's like, really? You need to measure that? And it slides on in every time, much to everyone's surprise. I bought it very, very strategically and it fits. Obviously on particular airlines. Another personality type, the comfort seeker. We have favorite PJs, your own cups of tea, certain things. It's not comfort, it's not luxury, it's familiarity. Another one, the collector. Deliberately leaving room in your suitcase because you already know if you're going to be coming home with purchases. Olive oil, books, food, little treasures that remind you of that somewhere special. Any of those resonating? Here's another one. The aspirational traveler. I think at different points in time, maybe we've all been that person. The dress we'll definitely wear. The exercise kit we'll definitely use. The novels we'll finish reading. Sometimes we're not packing for the holiday we've booked. We're packing for the person we perhaps think we'll be. I know I've done that. This is not about travel. I think that's the interesting bit. None of these personalities are right. None of them are wrong. They're simply different. We can also be a mashup and a blend, a bit of this one and a bit of that one. I think it's really interesting when you look at how you pack. Don't get me wrong, I love to pack with efficiency. I am all over compartmentalization. Certain categories of items, so I can just grab them and take them. I can unpack easily. I can repack easily. I can find my knickers. I mean, it all comes down to quantity as well, because of course I can wash my knickers. Sometimes when I'm on a holiday, there are certain chores, tasks I'm not really interested in doing. So let's remember how unique you are. Your holiday that you're going on is so unique to you. And I think we need to remember that a little bit more, and that what we're choosing to do is okay. And there are so many people doing things differently, and I think sometimes the line of sight that we think we should be doing things in certain ways, or I could be doing it this way or that way. Sometimes your way is still the best way. And that's exactly what I see when I'm helping anyone organise their homes and their lives. People think I'm going to come in and edit their wardrobes, their kitchens, paperwork. It's not necessarily about that. It's digging a bit deeper and understanding the person. Because once we understand ourselves, everything becomes so much easier. The wardrobe, the suitcase, the packing, the routines, even the decisions. Believe me, it really does. Now the packing list. I've created packing lists before. They're totally helpful, but they're only a starting point. Give that list to many different people, and every time it will be packed differently, because your personality is actually what fills the suitcase, not the list. But let's talk about real life, right? The practical side. Can you lift your suitcase? Will it fit in the overhead locker? Do you know which bag holds your medication, your passport, your chargers? Can you spot your suitcase quickly on the carousel? Now, organisation can quietly remove stress, and not because everything needs to look perfect in packing cubes, but because you have thought ahead. The mental load is a big one here. That's something we don't always talk about. Who's carrying the holiday in their head? Who's remembered their passports? Sunscreen, the chargers, the snacks, they've all got to fit in somewhere as well. The boarding passes, the logistics. I think one parent often carries more than a suitcase. Carrying that mental load, it's also an interesting one. If you're traveling with a family, next week I am, so let's see how that gets shared, and if the family holiday can feel a little bit lighter, with the load anyway, not the bags. And then you have the delight of traveling solo, where you don't have to deviate, you don't have to think, you just have to look after yourself. There's pleasure in all the ways of travel, that's for sure. Now it's time to hit pause. This week's pause is really simple. Maybe because it's not about packing. It's about recognizing that we all organize ourselves very differently. And that's okay. I don't need to give you permission for that, but it is okay. And I think occasionally we do need to hear that. So this week's Glimmer of Gold is don't pack like Instagram. Don't pack like your friend. Don't pack like me. Pack like yourself. Because the best suitcase isn't the smallest. It's the one that supports the way that you love to travel. Now the 15-minute win. You don't need a holiday booked for this week's challenge. I simply want you to think back to the last trip that you took. What came home exactly as it left? What never got worn? What did you wish you'd packed more of? What caused unnecessary stress? Then ask yourself a final question. What does it tell me about me? Write down some things you do differently. I really think every trip teaches us something different, not just about the traveling, but about ourselves. And here's a different take. Maybe the best souvenirs that we bring home from holidays aren't the photos, they're not the olive oil, they're not the fridge magnet. Maybe it's this bigger understanding of ourselves a little bit better. Every trip really does teach us a little bit more, not just about the places that we go to, but the people that we are. And if we can bring those little nuggets home, then I think we've traveled really, really well. I mean, before I even left on holiday, I start to kind of get slightly psychotic in my house. I'm cleaning things. And then by the time I get back, I'm literally getting rid of everything. I think I'll touch on that on another week. It's a slightly different one from me this week, but one to nudge you and make you think. So thank you, as always, for spending your time with me. I hope you have a great week. I'll see you next Sunday for another weekly edit. If you've got feedback for me and you've had to think about this personality type, drop a comment below. Share it with someone who might be going off traveling soon, because I'd love to hear your take. I'm Narelle. I'm from Organise to Edit. Thank you.